Yo, let's get it. Yo, let's go, let's get it. Live from the mic with the vibes explicit. Hosted by Buddy, the legend in the game. Laughter, stories, you'll never be the same. Yeah, buddy, it's that podcast flair where the stars align and we venture to share. Yeah. Step into the studio, lights shining bright. Buddy Rahming's got the crew and the vibes just right. From comedians to actors, models and more. Entertainment biz, we're ready to explore. Chilling with legends, having heart-to-heart chats. Discussing personal journeys, no tips or hacks. With laughs that echo and stories that amaze. Every episode's a treat, let the conversation blaze. Yeah, buddy, welcome to the show.
Yes. What's going on, world? We are back at it with another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. So thank you for all my returning friends for tuning back in. If this is your first time tuning in, you know how we do every episode. I try to bring some of my friends from the entertainment business, whether it be actor, filmmaker, comedian. We sit down, we chop it up, and we see what we got going on in the entertainment business. This episode, we continue our journey, the One Buddy After Another podcast with co-host Brandon Larson. If you've been following, we've been tracking the film One Battle After Another throughout this whole entire award season. Why? Because this movie was filmed specifically up here in Northern California and Sacramento. So we decided to give it a little bit of shine, give it a little bit of highlight. This episode, we are talking about the best actors for the Academy Awards, best actors. And I have my man Brandon Larson, co-host, give us the list of who we have up for the best actors this year.
Hey, everybody. Best actors for this year for Oscars. You've got Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. You've got Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. You've got Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. And then Timothee Chalamet for Marty Supreme. And those are your 5 lead actors up going for lead actor right now.
Okay, cool. Let's break it down. Let's break down the lead actors. Let's break it down. Start off right now with Leonardo DiCaprio, because he was the lead in One Battle After Another. You actually had the chance to actually watch him work and do his thing while he was on set, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This guy is super professional. He comes in with the mindset of being the character. He's so focused, just laser focus is what I noticed. And I really enjoyed just getting the chance to watch him act, because usually when you're watching these actors, you're seeing it on the big screen, you know, or in your TV, or on your TV. And in this case, you know, getting to see it live is an entirely different experience. So getting to watch Leo, watching his professionalism and the caliber that you have to be at the top of your game, that's where he's at. And also, if you put things in perspective, getting to watch an Oscar nomination, right? Like, not everybody gets to do that live. And so I knew that, like, this was something special. The scene that I got to see wasn't actually in the movie. They cut the scene, and I thought like it was going to be in the movie because it was between him and Tiana Taylor. And one thing about Leo is he's very specific. So he does the same thing physically every single time, but he allows for a different emotional response. So he keeps that fresh every single time. And that's what I'd like to, you know, take from for my own self as an actor. You know, that's something that I really that really spoke to me and inspired me to be like, okay, if I want to get to the next level, this is what I got to do.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, as an actor, what do you think it takes to get to that level, to where, I guess the saying is, it's the same take, but you do it different every time, the same but different every time. What do you think it takes to get to that type of level as an actor, to where you're comfortable on camera giving different types of emotions in the same setting?
I think it starts with the work that you do at home. So you've got to read the script. at least 100 or more times. You've got to break down your script, find what the character wants, you know, their objectives, what tactics you're going to use to get what you want. But it's more than that. It's also physical choices too, right? You've got to think about like this character backstory. You've got to do that all before you get to set, because there's no time when you get to set, right? So coming in and making those choices, and I think also the training, like what level of training have you had? Have you taken in a film intensive? Are you, you know, do you like Meisner, Stellar Adler? Are you method? There's all different types of techniques. And so I think coming into it as an actor, you really got to do your book work so that it's easy. And of course, number one, know your lines, right? Yeah. Like backwards and forwards, you can't not know your lines. And so I think that that's super important and super critical. But watching Leo, there was just also this relaxation too. You've got to be able to be calm under pressure. And so that, I think, gives you the confidence going into it, into a big set like this, if you've done that level of work and you feel comfortable knowing that, like, I did everything I needed to do and I'm camera ready, I'm ready to go.
No, yeah. So anything like I say like techniques that you're doing right now that you think that would lead you, that is getting you to that point. Because some things that I like to do, like me, like as an actor, when I'm preparing for like a role or a character, is like I'll have like a whole separate copy of the script where I'll just scratch out everything except for like the dialogue, and you know, my dialogue and the, you know, whoever I'm in the scene with. So that's literally the only thing that I see on the script that I focus on, and then it kind of allows like my mind to create up all these other different scenarios and situations, and allows me to, and emotions that I could be feeling, rather than like, you know, if you like read the script or the dialogue kind of tells you how to feel, or the actual words kind of tell you how I'm feeling, or, you know, where to go. Just kind of doing those little things allows me to free it up, so that way when I am on the set, I might have in my mind 4 different ways this scene could play out. And now I'm just having fun with each one. Because now I'm like, oh, okay, well, this one worked out like this. So now let me do a take with this, with this type of emotion, or, you know, this type of goal in mind.
Well, then there's that active listening too, from your scene partner, whoever you're, because you don't know what they're going to do. So it's all of this is happening for the first time. Like in life, we don't know what's going to happen. So all of this is happening for the first time. So making it be like you didn't plan any of this and not showing the acting, I think is huge. But knowing the character so well that you're able to improvise and you know, feed off the other actors too, I think is important. And then, you know, you're really not planning in that case, because if you're keeping it fresh and you know, sometimes on film sets, they allow you to do a little improv if the scene's not working. That's if it's not working, of course. But if you're able to get in 1 or 2 takes, usually you get at least 2. You know, I haven't come across a time where it was like, we've got to get this in 1 take. Have you ever experienced that, or have you at least been given 2?
At least 2. I mean, sometimes, I'm pretty sure I've been in a scenario where they're like, hey, we just got to nail it on this first take or whatever. But for the most part, you know, 3 takes maybe at the most, or whatever. Or how you talk about like with the improv, sometimes if the scene is going good, then I'll even let them improv. That's almost might be the even better opportunity to let them improv, because now, because you know that both whoever the actors are in the scene, they have a really good understanding of who their characters are, what their goals are, what their intentions are, and stuff like that. So that's almost a good time to let them improv too, because now you really get to see the work that they put in as far as like the backstory and all of the character development.
I agree, man, 100%. And so I think it's I agree with what Denzel said, where he thinks that you really should start out in the theater if you can, or if you haven't, go do a stage show, because you don't get more than one take. You get
No,
one
yeah.
take. That's all. That you only that when you're performing live, and if you're a stand-up comedian, you don't get take two. You got to deal with the hecklers. You got to deal with that just like you would in the theater. And that's where I got my start, was in the theater. So I've done like over 25 theater productions. So I feel like that prepared me, and also, getting a degree in theater arts too prepared me for that. And then on a film set, it's like if you get the opportunity to play it differently too. So that's the other thing, is you don't have to be the same each take. Like unless the director is telling you like, hey, I want you to do it that way. But I think in the editing room, they'd much prefer some options, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think so, especially because the editing process is so tedious as it is, that like me, if I was editing a film and I knew that every take was exactly the same, you know what I'm saying? Like delivered the same, the blocking is everything exactly the same. I'm not going to put much effort into editing. I'm just going to use the first take from every single thing that I got, because I know everything else is going to be this. It's all going to be the same. There's no point in me going through 4 different takes of the same exact scene.
Yeah. No, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think in film acting, it's really technical. And so when I'm on set, like I do care about what hand I'm picking up the cup or whatever I'm using, whatever prop I'm using. I care about stuff. Continuity is I'm definitely big on that, and it's actually saved me in some of my own films where because I paid attention to that, there weren't issues that could have been really not so good.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so I do think that's important, and I think that that's why Leo does it. I think that that's why he does, because he knows that. There's one in The Wolf of Wall Street when he did that. There's a video of him and how still he was too. So I think stillness on camera, like where he's holding, like I'm doing it right now. He's going in for a handshake, and he's holding that, and he does it, and he's in the zone, and then it's like action. Then he goes, but he's
Yeah.
holding that mark. And so I think that that's important too. And then also like being really specific with your choices as an actor too, right? Like if you don't know what it is you're going to do, and this wasn't the case for Leo. Every single moment in this film, I was intrigued. I actually watched it a second time, buddy, and just wanted to see his performance again. And this is well deserving for an Oscar. Like seriously, like I was very impressed, because out of all the roles that Leo has done, this is completely different than anything he's ever done. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
like a 180. Like this is nothing compared to what he's done.
No, yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you, like compared to his other roles, because he won the award for The Revenant.
Right.
You feel this is a better acting performance than the Revenant?
I think it's up there. I think those are two different performances. I think he was extremely natural, and in this like world where it was almost like he didn't have to act because he was living it. Like he was actually in the wild, and if you haven't seen the movie, like there's a bear attack, there's all this craziness going on, and like a pioneer type of movie for him. And so if I'm comparing those two movies, what one did I like better? I think I liked them in one battle after another, honestly.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so unique and different, and he engaged me so much in this movie that I felt like he and he really carried the film in a lot of ways, because
He
if
carried
you
the
had
film,
it,
and there's a lot of interesting characters in that film too, compared to like The Revenant. You know, Tom Hardy was in there, but there wasn't too many interesting characters and counterparts that you could just everybody could just kind of gravitate to. Like The Revenant, everybody just gravitated to Leo, but with one battle after another, there's so many different pieces and people that you could gravitate to for him to be able to carry that and still manage to have his character stand out. You know, speaks to how you're saying him, his level of professionalism and what he brings to the table as a movie actor.
oh, for sure. And I've got him runner up in this. Honestly, like, my personal opinion is that he was a standout for me this year. Him and Michael B. Jordan were, I felt, the two strongest performances of the year in terms of that lead actor role. And I was impressed with Wagner Moura as well as Ethan Hawke. They're hyping Timothee Chalamet up a lot, like he's expected to win, and I just think he's overhyped. I think it's a good performance, but it's not the best of the year for me, if I'm being honest with you. I think Leo was far better in this film. Personally, I really feel that way strongly. And the level of detail that Leo goes into his roles, you can see that on the screen too. Whereas, others kind of hit like one note. They don't really vary or think about how a different scene might be in comparison. Like, there's an arc to the character from start to finish. How does the character start and how does he end in the movie? And all those things that are going on in the movie, how does that journey affect that character? And we've got to see that. If we don't believe it, we're not going to, hand you an Oscar for it.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on one second. I gotta plug back in my light real quickly. Okay, cool. Yeah, we back at it. What were we saying?
I was saying, in terms of, Leo really brought his A game for this performance, and I felt that he was a standout for me this year. Certainly going to put him runner up. I don't think he's going to win personally, but I do think he gave a stronger performance than Timothee Chalamet, who's expected to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that after him winning The Revenant and then being nominated so many times before that, I didn't really see him putting the effort into actually campaigning for the lead actor. I think we like discussed this before, one battle after another was for, Paul Thomas Anderson to win his award or whatever, but I didn't really see, you see Leo at the parties because you haven't really seen him since, I think, The Wolf of Wall Street. But yeah, I think he's just enjoying being back out there in the crowd, having his face being seen. But I don't really think he cares too much, even about winning the Oscar.
Well, he's also nominated for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too, which was his last nomination that he had, and he was really good in that film too. So pretty much everything that I've seen Leo in has been incredible. The first nomination he had was back in 1994 in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And so, you take that into account from that to now, and he's given us so many iconic roles. I enjoyed his performance as Howard Hughes in The Aviator. He got a nomination for that. Blood Diamond, really good work in that. I mean, you go right down the line, he's given you time and time again strong performances, whereas, other newer actors like Timothee Chalamet have given some decent ones, but I know that Timothee is really campaigning hard. He wants to win, but I think he's got strong competition with Michael B. Jordan. I mean, let's talk about Michael B. Jordan, because he's somebody that's constantly overlooked. he's somebody that's underrated, and sometimes I feel undervalued. And I feel like in this performance, specifically in Sinners, is an Oscar-winning performance, buddy. Like this is an Oscar-winning performance to me. I mean, he plays Smokestack, and then he plays, and you said it best, a third character almost when he's being a vampire in this. And so I got to give props to Michael B. Jordan, and I hope he takes it down. That's who I'm rooting for.
No, yeah, most definitely. I'm glad to see him finally getting the recognition, from, I guess you just say, it probably goes back to, Black Panther, that if you want to go further back to, Fruitvale Station. But I think he's been a champion of the culture ever since going back to, being on The Wire. If you just watch the first season of The Wire, he just stands out alone, just his acting abilities and talent as it is, him and Idris Elba.
Yes.
But going back to like how you say with his role in Sinners, yeah, it's definitely Oscar worthy performance, and it's stuff that he's always been putting out. If Fruitvale Station had a budget of $20 million instead of $1 million, he would have been nominated for an Oscar for Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, I agree, 100%, buddy. And so we can't forget about Ethan Hawke. I mean, Ethan Hawke has been around for a long time too. And so I really loved his performance in Training Day. That for me was his best. But here he is nominated again for Blue Moon. And he's been nominated for 5 total Oscars, 3 for acting and 2 for writing. So I thought that was cool. I didn't know that he was nominated for writing. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I really enjoyed his performance in Blue Moon. I thought he was pretty good in that. What did you think? I know you watched it.
Yeah, Blue Moon. I didn't know what that was about until I did watch it. The thing that I thought was very interesting and that I liked about his performance, I don't really want to spoil it for nobody.
Right.
I mean, but I'm gonna do it anyways, because like, I'm gonna do it anyways.
So spoiler alert if you're listening.
Spoiler alert if you're watching or whatever. So he ends up passing away in like the first, like the opening scene of the movie. And so what made it so interesting watching his performance is that like for the rest of the movie, I was watching it like, okay, when's he gonna start showing signs of, being sick or unhealthy or anything like that? But it was kind of like throughout the whole type of movie, he was just he was just full of life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it was also just seeing that, it was just also a reminder of just how precious life is, and that was the one thing that really, it really took away from me, because like literally the whole time movie I was watching, I'm waiting, like, is he gonna grab his chest, or is he gonna just start coughing sporadically, or what it's gonna be? But at the end, what killed him was a broken heart. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and that's such a powerful. I think you summed it up perfectly, buddy. I don't have anything to add to that other than I think he was better than Timothee Chalamet, personally. And I don't want this to make it seem like I didn't like what Timothy did, but I just don't feel that
he just made a character that was so unlikable. He made a character that was so unlikable. You're like, and then to use that as the campaign, like I'm living in I'm living in the spirit of Marty Supreme, and then you watch Marty Supreme, this dude's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and why would we give somebody like that an Oscar? But I mean, in any event, like I said, I suppose it deserves a nomination, but I think that there were other stronger actors that didn't get nominated. Like Jesse Plemons gave a really strong performance in Begonia. I was really impressed with him, and that was like, whoa, like he went there. And so if you haven't seen that performance, certainly check that out. But in any event, do you think Timothee's going to win? Do you think Leo's got a chance? Does Michael B. Jordan have a chance? How about this newer gentleman, Wagner Moura? What did you think of him?
I didn't even see that. Like I said, I saw how long the secret agent was, and I was like, man, I ain't got time for this. I don't got time for this. That was a long movie. I don't got time for that. So as far as Wagner Moore goes, I'll leave that expertise to you. But I think that in my order of list, it would be Michael B. Jordan, Leonardo DiCaprio, then Timothée Chalamet, then Ethan Hawke, and then Wagner Moore because I haven't seen him.
All right. Well, I got Michael B. Jordan number 1, Leo number 2. I've got Wagner Moura number 3. I thought he was really good in it, honestly. I watched him in a show called Narcos, where he plays Pablo Escobar, and he was really good, and I didn't even know that was him. So I looked him up, and I'm like, wait a second. He played Pablo Escobar? Like, I thought that was a different guy. So that's how strong of an actor he is. I'm thinking he's played by another actor. Like, that's the type of level you get to, like that, knowing that they're the same person. So this guy really blew me away in this movie. I was very impressed with his specificity, supernatural acting. I never felt like he was performing. It felt so real what he was doing. And what I like is just the certain look he'll do, and he'll get you there just with the look. That's all he needs. He doesn't even need lines. I think that's incredible. Fantastic. Yeah. And then I put Ethan Hawke number 4, and then Timothee down at the bottom. So that's my ranking.
All of them are very deserving, and all of them are for totally different reasons. Like, you could take Timothée Chalamet and say, well, he's been campaigning since last year for this Oscar, you know. You could put in Michael B. Jordan with all the complexity of just what it takes to play two different people, and then when that person turns it out, he's a whole nother. Now he's a different person too. You take just the legacy that Leonardo DiCaprio has and what he's done for Hollywood, and give him the award. Same thing, kind of like with Ethan Hawke, or even like with Wagner Moore, because that movie's like over 3 hours, just about 3 hours.
Yeah, it was 3 hours. Yeah, this was a very long movie,
and he's in the movie.
He's like in every scene. Yeah,
every scene.
Absolutely.
So just that alone, you're looking at it. Yo, this motherfucker is carrying a movie for 3 hours. Like
he
that.
Did.
Like you could look at that. Like you could look at that and be like, oh, any type of angle you go, you can look at it and be like, this person is deserving of winning.
And he might. See, that's the thing. He could be the sleeper because, like I said, not a lot of people are expecting it. And a lot of people haven't even seen his performance. So I just think that he is a contender. I gotta put him in as a contender. I don't think that Ethan Hawke is going to win. As much as I like his acting, I don't think he's going to win.
I don't think he's going to win either. But I just think he just put forth a very good performance of just, like I said, he just captured. It was like where it was like, for just being a movie that takes place in such a quick time, it was able to capture so many different aspects of like what relationships are like in this business, how sometimes we overthink them, underthink them, and then also just how rare opportunities are. You know what I'm saying? Because this whole time he's reflected about what he missed out on, because he could have been a whole lot bigger than he is, which is how a lot of us actors feel sometimes when we look at our careers and what we have going on. And then boom, in just the blink of an eye, it was over with. Right when it was getting back on track.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking for sure, definitely. And I think you speak to a lot of great things, and it just makes me think how committed you have to be as an actor. You have to do so much more than an athlete at times, where a lot of roles require you to have to be an athlete, or lose 20 pounds for a part, or you know take on an accent if you've got to do an accent, or if you've got to learn a new culture, or learn a new skill, learn piano. I mean, all these different things that go into acting. And it's not just memorizing lines like people
Mm-mm.
think. It's
Yeah.
more than just the lines. So I personally, when I'm working, I like to learn a new skill for every role that I do. Or, I learned how to gold pan for a film.
Hmm.
And so just trying to get a new skill each time you play a part, I think is really cool.
Hmm. Now, is it a skill that's related to that character, or is it just or is it a skill that you like? Oh, I think I've always wanted to try this, but so now this character fits that role of that skill, or is it a skill that you have to learn because of that character?
It it's usually because of the character, typically,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you're doing something, especially if I'm really big on, like, if you've got to shoot a weapon in a movie, you better go to the firing range. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You better
yeah.
know how
Look like you
to
know what to
load a
do.
weapon. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, I think there has to be that level of care when you're playing a character, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to fake things as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just do them, wouldn't you? And so I think that
Yeah.
kind of goes in the performance as well. If you're able to do something and do it well, um, in terms of each of these actors, learning a skill, Timothee Chalamet being a ping pong player, Ethan Hawke, he was like a composer. I'm sure he probably learned some music, I'd hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wagner Mora he had a piece. So he definitely had to be familiar with a weapon in the movie. Leo, what skill do you think he learned?
I think he was
How to
definitely not necessarily maybe a skill, but something that
Yeah.
he definitely like really took his time to learn, and was just being a revolutionary. You know what it meant to really. I mean, I think it's something that maybe he already had that reputation for, kind of like with his philanthropy and all that stuff. But really, just what the ramifications could be about, one, going up against the government, and then two, just being a dad. You know what I'm saying? He had to learn those fatherly skills of what would a dad do to protect his daughter, which is something that, say, his daughter's probably the age of most of his girlfriends. So,
Well, he frequently smokes pot throughout this film, and they
yeah,
asked him if he went method for it, and he said he did not. So he did
yeah,
not smoke pot during the film. But I would have been
yeah,
curious to know if he like tried it, like they were trying to get something out of him out of that, but
yeah.
he wouldn't budge. He didn't
He
do
probably could have taken that
it.
two other ways, because if he doesn't have to be a method actor if he's already smoking weed. He's like, this is just me.
This is
So
me,
maybe
yeah.
that's just me. He's like, I already smoke weed. This is not method. This is just Leo. Um.
And then Michael B. Jordan, what skill do you think he picked up in Sinners?
Oh my word. Definitely some sort of. Well, I think he already has some sort of callback from working on like Black Panther and Creed, but I think he definitely had to pick up that southern, that just that
Yep,
southern type of,
dialect.
flair, the dialect. Um, because it was a period piece. There's a lot of research back then about how people talk, the dialect, all that type of stuff. Um, and then I think I'm not really sure as far as like learning what to do, as far as like a skill goes. but I think a skill that he definitely learned as an actor would, like how we're talking about, as hard as it is to create a character, you know, look at the attention to detail that now I have to do to create two characters, and I don't really have the time to I either got to go all in or not at all, because it's too much time that I have to dedicate in order to doing these two characters justice. You know,
Right. Yeah.
if you're
And
talking
then,
about from the if you're talking about from the aspect of Smoke, the hand, the handshaking, something like that, is something that, like his character backstory is like, why are his hands shaking? Like, is it just something that he does, or is it some traumatic experience from being in the war, or being out in Chicago running with the mob? Same thing with Stack. I mean, Stack at one point I mentioned about Pippin. You see how he was talking to Haley Stanfield's character, so trying to develop that character and being all your playboy type of, your pip game, really. It's just, both of those characters are so complex, and then having to create both of those characters at the same time, and then not only having to create both of those characters, but you have to create them so separately to where, like, you as the actor, the person, I know I can easily switch back and forth without causing any confusion for myself or even the other actors on set too, because you're going to know, hey, for this day or for these next 6 hours, you're about to get smoked. Get the fuck out my face. You know what I
right.
mean? And then 6 hours later or the next day, I'm gonna be stacked. Hey, what's going on with y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all feeling good? Hell yeah. Y'all, you need any money? You good? You straight, bro? All right, for sure. For sure. Yeah, let me know. I got you, player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like just being able to balance that mentally is you got to give him props for that.
Oh, and I do. Like, he had the most technical performance out of any actor this year. He couldn't make a
Mhm.
mistake. Just past I was watching some behind the scenes, and just passing a cigarette from, smoke to stack or stack to smoke. He had to be so on point just to do a simple thing like passing a
Mhm.
cigarette to somebody.
Yeah.
That's the level where we don't get to see that unless they show the behind the scenes. And so
Mhm.
getting to see that and getting to see these actors at work, you see the level of detail that they have to do, right down to a movement. And if they don't do it right, that they got to spend more time on it, and they might not make their day. Right?
Yeah.
Time is money on film sets. So it's incredibly important for an actor to get it right if you can on the first take.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I think all of these actors do, is I think that they all bring this level of detail. This is a first time nomination for Michael B. Jordan. It's his first ever. Leo's already won, you said. It's
Mhm.
Wagner Moura's first nomination. Um, Ethan Hawke's had 5 nominations, 3 for acting. Timothee Chalamet has had 4 nominations for Oscars, 3 of which were acting related. He was also a producer on Marty Supreme, so
Yeah.
he's nominated for 2 Oscars on Marty Supreme. So, taking that into account, the nominations, we don't often see an actor win an Oscar on their first nomination. It's kind of rare, I think.
We might see it with Tiana, but that's for another episode. But
Right. Benicio
no,
del Benicio del
uh,
Toro did it for Traffic, his first
Benicio del
nomination.
Toro did it, and then Did Halle Berry do it for Monsters Ball?
Yeah, I
And then
think so.
Jennifer Hudson did it for Dreamgirls.
Halle Berry for
Uh,
sure. Yeah, Halle
yeah,
Berry for sure. Because I don't remember her being nominated before that.
yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, so yeah, her that Jennifer Hudson. Uh, I can't remember if Jamie Foxx was. I don't think Jamie Foxx was nominated for Ali. So if Jamie Foxx wasn't nominated for
For
supporting
Ray.
actor, I know he went for Ray, but if he wasn't nominated for supporting actor for Ali, then Ray was his first nomination and win. But he was
I'm
nominated twice
thinking
that
so.
year. But Jamie, he was also nominated twice that year. He was nominated for supporting actor too. So in the same
Wow.
year. So yeah, kudos to Jamie. Kudos to Jamie Foxx.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That's now what an actor he is. And that's somebody
yeah.
that's multi-talented, comedian, musician, right down the line. The guy can do it all. I mean,
Hmm.
and so
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
type of thing I'm saying. The more skills you can do as an actor, the more bookable you're going to be, the more, and that's why I say I think it's important as an actor to learn as
Yeah.
many things as you can, because you
Mm.
just never know if you get that call like Delroy did, can you play the
Yeah,
piano?
yeah.
There or
And
text.
even if he can't, he's like, I'm alert, I'm a lie,
I'm
I'm a
gonna
lie
learn.
and say I can't, I'm a lie and say I
Yeah.
can't, and I'm alert, I'm alert.
So I could
Yeah,
get this job. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And PSA to actors out there too. What how you talk about with those skills and stuff like that. On your resume, when if you're just starting out, the most important thing that you're gonna have on your resume, and even as you get older and grow is those special skills. So put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into those special skills that make you unique and an individual, something that you bring to the acting set. Because those are also the same things that you bring to the acting set that you'll be able to then take home or into your personal life. But yeah, those special skills are super important when it comes to trying to book work because if you don't have the credits, your skills will make up for that, and people will notice that, and they'll take and people will take notice.
And I don't recommend lying about it. So be as completely honest as you
Yeah,
can.
a little lie, a little. If somebody's not like, hey, can you juggle like bowling balls or something like that? I'm like, no, I can't juggle. But if somebody's all like, can you? I'll lie enough to get an audition, and then I'll let them make the choice.
But when you get to set, though, then they're expecting you to be able to ride a horse. So like horseback riding's a big one.
But
Like I don't know how to.
I wouldn't lie about that. I wouldn't lie about that. That's not something I would lie about. But if it's something like they're like, hey, do you know how to skateboard? I'm like, okay, yeah, and then I'll go out and I'll send a video of me skateboard. I'm not gonna, but I'm like, I'll let y'all judge,
How
whether
good
you
I
believe
am.
this perfect, how good I am.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I'll line up to get the audition to get to their face, and then I'll let them decide whether or not what I presented to them is good enough or not.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, I just
Yeah,
mean like if you've never done something at all and you clearly
yeah,
have never even tried it before,
yeah.
it might be wise to
It
be
depends,
honest
and
in
like I
that
said,
moment.
it depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. If it's something I think I'll be good at, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. But
Or if you
nothing too
can
out of the
learn it
way.
in time.
Yeah, if I could learn it in time, yeah, yeah.
Well, cool, man. This is great. Do we want to talk about the best actor in a supporting role real quick or
Did we go through? Um, did we get enough out of the lead actors? Was there anything more you want to talk about with Ethan Hawke or Wagner Moura,
no,
Michael B?
I think we pretty much said everything. I mean, Timothy's the favorite. We're both rooting for Michael B. Jordan to win.
Hmm.
Both impressed with Leo's performance in one battle after another. But yeah, those were my takeaways.
Okay, yeah, let's go into the we got some time. We got some time. Let's get into the best supporting actors.
Yeah, let me list
So
those off for you.
yeah, yeah.
So best actor in a supporting role, you got Delroy Lindo in Sinners, Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another, and Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another.
See, this is the category where you would think that One Battle After Another at least has the advantage because they have two supporting actors, which also speaks to just the wide range of characters that they had in that movie in general. I think Sinners was also one that either could have gone either way with having two nominees with Delroy Lindo and Miles Canton.
Yeah,
And then,
no, for sure.
Yeah. And then Jacob Elordi. Oh yeah, Frankenstein. Yeah, that and this goes back to with the lead actors. Like all these actors, bro, they all brought something different to the screen to where you can't really see either one being an upset. Like Delroy just represented every single old black man there is in America, man, and like he was able to capture the soul and like of a whole entire culture, bro. It was like we'll go into depth. We'll go into depth about his performance, but then you have Jacob Elordi that like he like the physical aspect of his role, and then also the fact that you gotta look at him as being, Frankenstein. He's a baby, then he grows into a man. So you see his growth from infancy all the way to adulthood from that aspect, and then also being just a monster in this world. And then you had the two from One Battle After Another, Sean Penn's crazy ass, and then Benicio del Toro.
Also crazy.
but cool crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who was the fifth one again?
Stellan Skarsgård.
And that movie was weird. It's not weird, but what was interesting about it was that, like, I went into it like it's not I wouldn't consider it an international film, even though it said like a different language. It just felt like it was just a movie that took place in another country, but there's still people that spoke English, but they also spoke Swedish. So it wasn't like an international film. It was just a film that took place in a foreign country. If that makes kind of sense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No. Yeah, I think Stellan Skarsgård is definitely a contender to win. This is his first nomination. I really believed his performance. I think he's a standout this year, certainly, and he's well deserved for this nomination. I was very impressed by what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he also played one of those characters that caters to the Academy and filmmaking, because in the movie he does play a director, and it talks a lot about the relation. Same thing with Ethan Hawke's character. This is why I think Ethan Hawke's character got the lead actor nomination, because it was very relatable to the Academy. They could see themselves in Ethan Hawke. Same thing with Stellan Skarsgård, with him being a director but having a troubled relationship with his daughter, his child. When you look at it, like I don't want to say that the bad, but like with the Brett Ratner situation, and it's all these other types of things, you kind of like it kind of really hits home to how challenging this business is, and also trying to maintain a balanced family life. It's extremely challenging, and they was able to capture that in such a very beautiful cinematic way, to where anybody in the Academy could look at that and be all like, damn, I know somebody like that.
Oh, absolutely. Extremely relatable. And not even just in the motion picture aspect, but you're trying to provide for your family too, right? And A lot of us have to be somewhere else. We'd rather be spending time with their friends and family, but we got to pay the bills. And so I think in this terms, you really get to see that struggle and that power dynamic in this movie. And I do think it's well deserved. I believed everything he said. I believed the relationship. And I think it's a very solid film this year. If you haven't seen Sentimental Value, I think it, for me, was the best foreign film of the year.
Yeah. And then you had, see, the thing with Frankenstein, though, is that it was a Netflix movie. And nothing against Netflix movie, but Netflix doesn't really do the whole, I mean, the movies get nominated for awards, Oscars, things like that, but you don't really see that type of that major push. It's almost like if it happens type of thing. And that's where I feel where Frankenstein kind of gets the short end of the stick. And specifically Jacob Elordi.
Also, too, I don't think that a lot of times movement is as valued as an actor. And I felt that he gave the strongest movement as an actor because nobody else had to do that type of level of performance to be able to showcase who you are by just your movement alone. And so I think for me, that was what made it strong because I believed him as Frankenstein. And I can't think of another actor. I haven't seen Christian Bale's performance yet, but he's, they got a movie out, another Frankenstein movie out. So I'll have to check that out. But in terms of what Jacob Elordi did, I thought he was transformative. It was amazing. Think about how physically demanding that must have been for him to do that and how athletic he has to be to be able to do that. And it was an unforgettable performance. I was really impressed by what he did in that film. And I think he's going to be an actor. He's only 27 years old. So the guy's got a lot of years ahead of him, right, to be nominated and up for another Oscar. So I don't think it's going to be his time to win this go around. But goodness, you can't discount anything that he did. So I was very impressed by his performance this year.
Well, Jacob, he can't, I mean, not saying he can't be upset, but he wasn't even the first choice for the role. It was originally Andrew Garfield that was cast as Frankenstein, but he had to back out. So so going back to how you were saying with the physical transformation and stuff all like that, he probably had to figure that out, not necessarily on the fly, but the makeup test and the costume fitting and all that type of stuff. It was all kind of, he didn't have as much time to prepare as he could have. So even from that aspect, just being able to find the physicality of what it takes to be Frankenstein and then the emotional impact and all that type of stuff, that's also something that you also got to put into effect that goes into play about him even just being nominated, because that wasn't even really his role. But all these other actors, you look, Michael B. Jordan, cast from the start. No, not Michael B. Jordan. I mean, Christian, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Stellan Skarsgård, Delroy Lindo. They was all kind of, their parts were kind of, solidified from the beginning, whereas he kind of came on board later in the production compared to the other actors.
Well, that's such a great point. And honestly, I think it worked to Frankenstein's benefit. I don't see Andrew Garfield playing that role. I don't know that would have worked. But then again, maybe it would have, but we'll never know. But I do think that this is a strong actor. I felt like he embodied this character, much like Delroy Lindo did. He embodied his character physically too. The way how his mannerisms were so specific. I loved his vocal work as well. Like everything about him, his expressions were so lively. Delroy, for me, is the winner for me.
Mhm.
I just, there's nobody else, and they don't come close for me. It's Delroy by a mile for me. So I
What puts
think
him ahead of the actors from One Battle After Another, like Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro?
I feel that Delroy was more believable in his performance, where I felt like this character was so lived in that I believed every single moment that he was
Yeah,
on screen. There wasn't an ounce, like this was if you could say
like his
perfection.
character was still eccentric, but he was like a grounded eccentric. Whereas if you look at like um Sean Penn and even Benicio del Toro to some sort of degree, they was just eccentric. You know what I mean? They was just some crazy ass characters. But Delroy Lindo was just you know he was a guy that went through some crazy ass shit. Whereas One Battle After Another, they was just crazy ass guys. That makes any
Exactly.
sense.
Oh, it
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense to me, and but it doesn't take away from anybody's performance.
Oh no,
But
yeah,
certainly for me, if I'm being super critical, there was not one moment that Delroy, when Delroy was on screen, um, I felt everything that he did was on point and excellent, like to the
Mhm.
highest level of acting. There wasn't
Mhm.
any, like in his game, it's like perfect. It's like Michael Jordan, the basketball, player, Michael
Mhm.
Jordan, like it's that level,
Yeah. Mhm.
the best. And so
Mhm.
I found it interesting kind of diving deep into his, you know, his history and his career, getting his start in 1974 till now. Like he's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
People might start recognizing him now because of the success of Sinners, but he was in Malcolm X is where I remember him, back in 1992. Get Shorty, I remember him in that, and Romeo Must Die. So he's been around for so long, and I feel this is his time to win. He's in his 70s, like Stellan Skarsgård. They're both in their 70s. So I'm like,
Mhm.
when are these guys going to get another opportunity? And so for me, it's between those two guys, Delroy and Stellan. So
Mhm.
those two guys are going to be head to head, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking Delroy is going to take it
Yeah.
down. That's
Yeah.
my
And
prediction.
I think Delroy's going to win. I think where he also has the advantage of, if we're talking about like campaigning and with Timothee Chalamet campaigning hard, Warner Brothers, you know, they're not going to let sinners walk away with nothing. You know, they're like we gotta leave here with something. And if there was a place where I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but the odds are in their favor to actually win the award, it would be in the best supporting actor role.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
So if I
think,
was them, I would put their cards in that and just be all like, I mean, now I know they have One Battle After Another with Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro, but that also kind of leads into, we just got this money to pull. You can't choose between Sean Penn or Benicio del Toro just because their characters are so dynamic. They almost X each other out to where it's like, hey, just let put all your money into Delroy.
plus, both Sean Penn and Benicio have
They
won
already got
before.
some. Yeah, they already got
They've
it. They
won.
already got him.
I mean, Sean Penn's won 2 Oscars and Benicio's won one, so they're not
Mm.
going to be campaigning
They're not going to
as
be
heavily.
chilling. Yeah, they're not going to be. They're going to be chilling. They're
Whereas,
like, it's all good.
whereas the whereas those three other actors, this is their first nomination.
Hmm.
So uh, that's why I say those three actors we mentioned, Jacob Elordi, Stellan Skarsgård, and Delroy Lindo, are all nominated for the first time. So I think one of those three actors is going to win, and I'm narrowing it down from Delroy to Stellan.
Yeah,
I'm between those two actors right now.
yeah. And if it's going to be, between those two, you just have to look at it voting wise, um, impact as opposed to screen time. Because Stellan Skarsgård character had a whole lot more screen time
Yep.
than Delroy Lindo, but if you just take that one monologue that he did while they was driving past the prisoners and all that stuff, the weight of that carries 10 times more than what Stellan Skarsgård did through that whole entire movie.
And I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And for me, not only that, but Delroy was my favorite character in the
Yeah,
entire movie.
yeah,
And so, like, any time that he was on screen, I was just enamored with by
yeah.
what he was doing. Like, I was so
Because he was
surprised
serious
with
at
what.
times, and then sometimes
Yes,
he was. And then sometimes he was the comical relief, and then it was just it was just such a like when you say that's Unk right there. Who's such an OG right there.
but it was brilliant, buddy. That was a
Yeah,
brilliant
yeah,
acting performance, and people
yeah.
are resonating with it, like you say. Like and what he said was, what Delroy said was the best compliment he can receive is that when someone comes up to him and says, "This reminds me of my family member," whether
Hmm.
it be an uncle, your brother, your dad, your grandpa, whatever. Like, to hear that, I was like, wow, this guy is so humble, and just
Hmm.
really, I really hope he wins, man.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I'd love Michael B. Jordan to win, but I don't know, man. Do you think he's going to win for Sinners?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
I want him to win.
Right, me too.
I want him to win. But like we said,
Yeah.
like I just say this whole time and stuff like that. Timothy Chalamet, not based off of, as I said, this just goes based off of how they choose to vote. If they want to go like Timothy Chalamet's been in their faces last year saying, "Give me the Oscar 2026. I want the Oscar 2026." So everything that comes after that is it's almost like not an afterthought, but it's a second thought of the Academy's mind as far as like who they're voting for.
And
And
then
that's
plus, yeah, plus what I was going to say was, giving an actor for best actor in a lead role and supporting in the same film. I don't know that I've seen that often. Have you? Like, where the same film wins for both acting categories?
mm, no,
Yeah, so
not that
that's where it's
not to my
like,
memory.
that's where I have to say I think Delroy's got the best chance, to
Yeah.
win.
Mm, yeah, because it goes back to Warner Brothers. Like I said, like where are they going to invest their money at? Do they want to invest their money in this more of a sure shot with Delroy winning Best Supporting Actor, or do you want to just push a whole bunch of money towards Michael B. Jordan, where you have somebody who, I mean, Timothy Chalamet's dated Kylie Jenner. She's a billionaire. Like, and they're like, hey, and they got the Shark Tank dude on their side. Warner Bros. We just sold to Netflix, bro. I mean, we good, but we ain't that good.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I think I don't know, man, but I feel like I'm rooting. I'm on Team Delroy, all the
Mm,
way. So I really
yeah.
hope he wins. And so I'm so excited to see what happens in the Oscars.
Yeah, the Oscars are creeping up, man. Oscars are creeping up. Only thing we have left are the NAACP Image Awards and the Actors Awards coming up, and then after that, it's all just Academy Awards until then, man.
Nice.
Yes, sir. So, anything else we want to lean in with about with the Best Supporting Actors?
No, I think we covered it, buddy. How about you?
Yeah. No, no, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, we got them all. We got them all in, gave them all their just due. So let's give the people a quick run recap. Best lead act. Okay, we're back real quickly. Okay. We both have Leo up for second place. And then, but I don't know. I know we don't want Timothee Chalamet, or not don't want him to win, but we wouldn't mind seeing these other actors win. But I think we kind of all agree is that he's just been campaigning so much to where it's kind of his in the bag.
Yeah, it seems that way. In terms of best supporting actor, I rank Delroy number 1, Jacob Elordi 2, Stellan number 3, Sean Penn 4, and Benicio number 5 for my ranking for supporting.
You got them at the bottom? What, the one battle after another?
Yeah, I do. And it's not to take away from anything that they did. I just felt the other performances were stronger.
Makes sense. Yeah, so I have I said Delroy winning. I got after that, it don't really matter to me as far as the best supporting actor. Like I said, it's kind of, you can go either way with it. It just depends on what you choose to look at for the actor, what the actor did to get into character. It's just because of crapshoot, because everybody did their due diligence this year, which is good. I mean, there's a lot of good movies this year, a lot of good characters. So I know the big thing has been like Hollywood doesn't make original movies no more, and everything's just a franchise, sequel, all this type of stuff, a reboot. But no, there were some pretty quality movies this year, quality characters.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, this was like a first year where there was a lot of original concepts, especially in a movie like Sinners and One Battle After Another. Both of those were new type of films that we haven't seen.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, One Battle After Another was so big that now Ang Lee's filming his next movie up here. So, shit.
That's great.
Doing things. Yeah. So, that was it, y'all. That was it right now for the Yeah Buddy podcast. You can follow this episode and all other episodes wherever you listen to or watch your podcast, including Spotify, Amazon, and of course, you can go to www.yeahbuddyent.com. That also has all of my other stand-up comedy shows that I produce, stand-up comedy shows that I've just done jokes on, sketches. And of course, more episodes of the Yeah Buddy podcast. You can follow me at Yeah Buddy ENT on all my social medias. Brandon, my man, where can they follow you at?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Brando Larson. Also, feel free to follow my new page, which is Black Loom Films. So at Black Loom Films, we're going to be doing a lot of indie films here in Northern California. So be sure to check that out. I appreciate you.
Yes, y'all. Like I said, thank y'all all, my returning friends, for tuning back into another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in, I hope y'all had a good time. I hope to catch y'all on the next episode. My name is Big Buddy. I'll catch y'all next time, y'all. Deuces, we out.